hymen and others that either echinoderm, hymenopteris and
The topic, dear student, the topic is grading of silk and brief account of silk conditioning and testing. Raw silk grading, the first topic is raw silk grading. There are three main grades of silk categories as A, B, and C. Grade A silk is top grade silk that can be unraved without silk floss breaking. Raw silk is a thread reeled from several cocoons and it is understood to be a continuous thread because during the rearing process we have to take care of the complete rearing process. The classification of raw silk is important silk testing. Classification of raw silk supplements the test as well as the external visual observation and other product quality test results. Raw silk classification. The classification is based on the size of denier, that is size and grades. Size is number 1, 18 deniers and below, having grades 6A, 5A, 4A, 3A, 2A, A, B, C, and D. And then we are having another size that is 19 deniers to 33 denier, and then grades 6A, 5A, 4A, 3A, 2A, A, B, C, D, and E. You just see there's a difference, that is we don't have a E grade there in 18 denier, and in 19 denier we are having another grade that is E denier, E grade. And then we are having third size that is 34 deniers and above. We are having grades 4A, 3A, 2A, A, B, C, D, E. So you just see the difference between the 19, 18 and the 34 denier. We don't have 6A and 5A in 34 deniers and above. Then silk conditioning. Dear student, silk conditioning. Silk is highly hygroscopic in nature. In order to avoid loss or gain either to seller or buyers, the silk is conditioned to have standard moisture content of 11% in it. It absorbs moisture to the extent of 15 to 20% during the days of high humidity like a rainy season. In standard atmospheric conditions, that is at 27 degree temperature and 65 degree relative humidity, silk absorbs about 11% moisture. Then silk conditioning. Silk conditioning is done in a conditioning oven. Conditioning oven is a chamber with special arrangement for drying raw silk under controlled conditions. It is capable of drying raw silk suspended inside at 140 degree and expelling moisture by forced ventilation. After conditioning the silk, final weight is calculated by using this formula, that is moisture percentage in silk is equal to initial weight minus final weight oblique initial weight of silk. So this is the formula which is used to calculate the final weight of the silk. Then silk testing. Varieties of silk fabrics are produced on hand looms and sophisticated power looms. To achieve the success level of weaving industries, quality of raw silk is required, which can only be achieved by silk testing. Dear student, testing of raw silk is based on the procedure laid down by the International Silk Association. Then silk testing. Raw silk test can be broadly classified into number 1, quality test, and number 2, quantity test. So number 1, quality test. Quality test include visual test and mechanical test. Visual test, this test is conducted on the whole lot of raw silk. This is carried out in an inspection room which is well illuminated. The inspection is carried out for following characteristics of uniformity, general finish, and nature. We can see under naked eyes. Then mechanical test. Mechanical test includes winding test, size deviation test, serigraph test, and then plane test. So then quality test. Winding test mean the aim of winding test is to determine the number of breaks which occur in the raw silk threads for certain periods of winding and feasibility of the skeins of the winding. Winding is done on a frame which is capable of adjusting to a winding speed of 110, 140 and 165 meters per 1 minute. Equipments required for winding test are winding frame and wheels and bobbins. Size deviation test. The test consists a test for average size deviation and maximum size deviation test. Objective of size deviation is to determine the degree of size variation with the test pieces of sizing skeins of definite lengths of raw silk, while max deviation test determines the extreme degree of variation. Equipments required sizing reel, that is 1.125 meters in circumference, balance and denier scale. Only fixed length from each skein is taken for the testing. Measuring machines for making sizing skeins shall have circumference 112.5 meter at constant speed of 300 rpm. Seriplane test. Seriplane winding machine used to wound raw silk on inspection board with uniform spacing and speed of 100 revolutions per meter. Tests are conducted with the help of seriplane winding machine, seriplane inspection board, illumination apparatus, inspection boards, flat board 1 meter in perimeter, upon which the inspection panel may be wound, have a uniformly black flat surface without stripes, width 46 meters, length 150 meters, circumference is 100 meters. Seriplane test includes evenness test, cleanness test and neatness test. Then serigraph test. Objective of the test is to find the tenacity and elongation test of the raw silk. To test the strength of the raw silk, breaking points and the degree of elongation is carried out on the serigraph. Test method. The sizing skeins to be tested are placed in a room where standard humidity can be maintained for a sufficient amount of time to allow them become adjusted to standard conditions. Each sizing skein is then tested for tenacity and elongation test using serigraph in standard humidity. Then we are having quantitative test, that is condition weight test. When weighing the gross weight and the dried weight of raw silk, the condition weight is calculated by adding 11% to the dried weight. The conditioned weight of raw silk is obtained as follows, that is, all skeins of raw silk for the test are put into a room with a constant temperature and humidity for 12 hours. 20 skeins are picked up for a test unit and are then weighed separately as the original weight. 2 skeins are selected from the sample for the conditioned weight test. The sample skins are dried in an oven one by one with a drying temperature at 140 degree. The drying is continued until the difference at every weighing is within zero point 0.1 gram. Thank you very much.